our Almighty God, Creator of heaven and earth, Father and lover of our soul, you sit on your throne of mercy and rule with your love and faithfulness. You are full of grace. We acknowledge your presence in our lives. Nothing is hidden in your eyes, even our challenges and struggles in life. We come to you with faith. We ask not only for our daily spiritual bread, but to seek your forgiveness and undeserving favor to heal our land, our family members, our friends and neighbors, even our enemies with COVID-19 and other diseases. Holy Spirit, help us to deepen our faith and see the opportunity to believe, obey, and worship. As we face this pandemic, you are Lord and God. Encourage us and change our hearts, not to fear, but to be full of hope and find ourselves praying and meditating your word. We believe no works of the enemy prosper to your children. Abba, Father, we believe that your Son Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. He is the truth and our salvation. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and most of all, not our will, but thy will be done. We pray this in Jesus' name, the name above all names, who was and is to come. Amen.
Reaching out to Filipinos worldwide, the now of digital entertainment with studios in Manila, Bacolod, Hong Kong, and Los Angeles, California. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guests do not reflect those of the host, the show, this station, the management, and the network. Hey, basketball junkies! Are you a beginner coach wanting to build the right foundation for your coaching know-how? Are you a player or a fan in research of the right source of basketball IQ, skills, and more? Well, if you are, BOUNCEPASS is for you. We bounce key foundational knowledge about a game and pass it on to you for practical use in taking their basketball knowledge and skills to the next level. Here now are Coach Mike Perez and Coach James Tolentino as they tackle everything hoops. This is BOUNCEPASS. Only here on V81 Radio Worldwide.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to BOUNCEPASS live here at V81 Radio Worldwide. My name is Mike Perez, and in case you just joined us, this is actually our second episode just on V81, and we're very happy to be here. And, you know, we have a lot of things to talk about tonight. And before we talk about anything, allow me to bring in my co-host, as usual, my partner, Coach James Tolentino. Coach James?
Good evening, everyone. Medyo napaaga tayo kasi ang daming excited na mga tao ngayon. So before we start, we want to shout out our sponsors. Medyo mabilis lang to. JT Financial, Nintay T, Complete Basketball Academy, DL Cervantes, Construction Corp, Gunita, Villas and Pavilion, DHB Glass and Aluminum, Jgrit Glass and Aluminum, Spartan Street Trading Corp, Tablescape, the local government of Tagudin, Ilocos Sur, led by Mayor June Versosa, M Aesthetics Clinic, Manok na Puti Grill House, Dexter's Pizza Tunasan and Marcelo Green, Rotary Club of San Pedro 3820, Triple A Security Agency Incorporated, Ground Tech Engineering Services, Hoosiers Clothing, and Astro Bricks. So for your resort needs, check out Gunita Villas and Pavilion, the best kept resort secret in the Metro. Malapit lang siya near Padre Pio. So instead of checking in into large resorts, you can book here in Gunita. With only 8 suites, you can pick your own corner in the expansive 2.5 hectares. You can stroll
Wow.
around the garden mask-free, even rent their ATVs. Super lapit lang. It's just near Padre Pio. They have 4 rooms which has its own pool, kitchen, and living area. So sure kayo that you will be here with your family. Wala masyadong concern with regards to COVID. For inquiries, call 0956-839-1269. That's 0956-839-1269. We'll give you an automatic shout out if you type it in our comment section. So that's again 0956-839-1269. Gunita Villas and Pavilion. Take it away,
Wow.
Coach Mike.
Eksaktong-eksakto 'yan habang yung mga devotees natin nagpupunta sa Padre Pio, no? And after that, time to relax and unwind amid all these things that's going on.
Yes,
Very
pwede rin kayo dyan.
refreshing na mayroong
Oh,
ganyang
pwede rin
lugar.
kayo dyan, gawin yung reception ng wedding nyo. O pwede rin kayo dyan
Yeah.
magkaroon ng garden wedding. Nakapunta na
Right.
ako dyan one time. Ganda, sobrang ganda dyan.
Pero hindi mo garden wedding yung coach, no? Anyway, all right. So again, I'd like to welcome everyone. In case you're wondering where you can catch us, well, on V81 Radio, you can catch us on YouTube and on Facebook Live, both on the V81 Radio account and also in Facebook. You can also catch us on Bounce Pass the live stream. We're still there, and you'll also be able to catch us on Amazon Fire TV. And if you have an Amazon Echo Dot at home, you just say Alexa, play V81 Radio, and they'll play you all the tunes that's available and all the shows that's available right here on V81 Radio. And other platforms we have, of course, aside from Amazon Fire TV, we also have Spotify, Pandora, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. What else? Apple Podcast and Stitchers. And we got a lot of platforms that we are available now. So maraming salamat for all of you who are watching us. And now I think it's on to our topic for tonight. But before we start our topic, Coach, as Coach gets ready, prepares for some things here, we've invited actually one of our guests for tonight. He's one of our avid followers and a really diehard Lakers fan. I'd like to welcome on the show Francis Marasigan, all the way from Houston, USA. Francis, how are you?
Oh, hi, coach. Thank you. Ano? No, no. I live in Hamilton, no, not in Houston, but
Oh, okay.
okay.
I thought
Sorry.
you're staying in Houston, right?
No, no,
So,
no.
but anyway, kumusta tayo dyan, Francis? How are you guys there?
Ito okay naman. Ayun, waiting for that day na talagang mag-reopen yung buong bansa. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
according to our governor na kasi nag-start kami mag-reopen mga March. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, we're getting closer there, you know.
Right. But you guys vaccinated na?
Ako
Completely vaccinated na ba kayo?
since January pa ako dahil frontliner ako.
Oo nga pala, frontliner ka. You're one of the guys that's doing this work for all of us and mankind. Wow. Maraming
Yes.
salamat. Ayan na si Coach James. Coach, si Bossing Francis ang ating guest for tonight.
Obviously, ano yung team niya, no? So, Laker fan siya. Hindi siya
Oo.
LeBron fan just to be safe or to be in the middle. I think
Alright.
Kobe jersey ba yan? Kobe jersey?
Kobe
Hindi,
jersey
ito-
yata yan eh.
Hindi, yung ito yung luma kong shop na jersey pa from 2002.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So,
So-
but anyway, Coach James and Francis, well, just like what we've been posting, we are gonna talk about the legacy of LeBron James. Some say is this the end of an era of one of the probably greatest players to ever play the game, and a lot of questions out there that's coming. I think the latter part of his career, medyo Some say it's declining. Maybe it's because of injuries or longevity, what have you. Want to talk everything about that. Fairly recently, the Los Angeles Lakers, after getting into the play-in with the Golden State Warriors to start the play-in, eventually bowed out first round versus the Phoenix Suns. And Devin Booker and CP3 really just did their thing. And the thing is, kulang rin talaga ng tao itong kasama si LeBron James. So when I talk about it, what do you think about the legacy of LeBron James now that he's been booted out in the first round against the Phoenix Suns? Francis, what's your take on that?
Well, this di ba ano he is 14-0. Well, prior to this playoff series, he was 14-0, coming in like 14-0, like advancing to the first round, di ba? This one loss now that he had, like, I don't think it diminished like his legacy overall
Mhm.
a bit, kasi ano na parang na-establish na niya napatunayan na niya yung gusto niyang patunayan. But um yung body language siya yung may mga pinakita kasi siya nung game 5 tsaka game 6 eh.
Mhm.
Na pinakita niya yung mga dahilan kung bakit hindi ako fan ni LeBron. I think
So,
that's
ano mo interesting yan, Coach James and Francis. Now, you're a Laker fan. How did you feel when, you guys heard of the news that LeBron was coming in LA? Ano naging reaction mo dun? Kasi alam natin,
I mean,
Kobe land dyan, di ba? Before he came in. What was your reaction?
me I was surprised but not surprised a little bit kasi I was surprised that Magic Johnson uh made it possible.
Mhm.
Pero kasi at the time, the signs were already there. Eh. He was buying properties in LA. He was establishing his production company, yung kung saan ginawa nila yung Space Jam yan with Marvin
Mhm.
Carter. He was setting everything in LA. Eh. So we already saw the signs, but sometimes like when you're not a fan of a certain player, so you wish na, well, I hope hindi matuloy, but
Mhm.
the writing was on the wall that he's gonna go to LA,
Mhm.
and it only took Magic Johnson becoming the president of the basketball and operations to make it happen.
Mhm.
Sign the 4-year, 153 million contract, and then at first it was weird, but
Yeah.
it was really weird because I've I've said a lot of things about LeBron in the past, and then suddenly like I have to cheer for the guy. It
Yeah.
was really weird, and I mean I defended the guy because ano ako eh, kasi I'm a supporter of the team and not the player.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
in games 5 and game 6, when our season is on the line, you know, like he was showing signs of why I don't like the player. So, like the, the guy totally quit on the team. the last
Yeah, I think
the last two
it,
the
Two
last two
playoff
games.
games. All right.
Mhm.
yeah, the last two games, right? The last two games. A lot of our viewers are already making their comments. We're seeing that. I wanna do a special shout out to Peter Regalado Lopez. He says, palibhasa lalaki bounce pass edition with you, coaches, Coach Mike and
Oo
Coach
nga
James. Wow.
eh. Sana
Uh,
ma-reunion yun eh.
yeah, oo nga. Sana
Better
sana
than friends.
sana sana
Better than
ano
friends.
right. Sana si Coach Peter ma-join din tayo minsan dito sa Bounce
Yeah,
Pass.
that's
No,
true.
yeah. Maganda yan,
Sure,
maganda
That's
yan.
sure.
diehard basketball fan din yan.
Ah,
Oh,
nice,
correct.
nice.
Si Coach Peter, right. So, but Coach James, you were smiling earlier. I know you have something to say. What's your take?
Yeah, ako, sa akin, yung legacy ni LeBron is already cemented. He's part of the top great players. No?
Yeah,
So
the
LeBron,
pantheon.
the
Tawag.
pantheon, it doesn't matter kung mag-fail siya ngayon or next time or last week or whatever. okay na yun, cemented na yun. He's just adding up to the legacy that he has right now.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, there are some instances in the past 2 years that past Laker years ni LeBron that I think baka yun pa ang nag-diminish. Not this season yung 2 years ago where they were eliminated in the playoffs. Sa tingin ko medyo
Mhm.
yun. Baka yun medyo magiging topic pa yun on how they got eliminated.
You're talking about yung 2018, coach.
Yep.
Yep.
And this round and this year they got eliminated in the first round. So
Mhm.
again, yung question nga at the start, ito na ba yung end ng prime ni LeBron? Ito na ba yung decline niya?
Mhm.
Pero with regards to legacy, I think LeBron is one of the greats. Isa na yan sa mga pagpipilian ng greats, no? Pero I think after nung this playoff game, I think medyo nawala siya doon sa usapan na yun. Kumbaga, hindi siya parang ini-eliminate siya sa pagiging GOAT, no?
Mhm.
Pero again, career-wise o statistical-wise, stats-wise,
Mhm.
madami nang napatunayan si LeBron. Madami siyang most, di ba? Yung mga points, rebounds.
Mhm.
I think lahat yan baka sapulin niya Tatamaan niya just because of his longevity and the greatness and yung mga skills na meron siya. Tsaka
Yeah.
tandaan natin, bata pa lang to. Hype na to. I was following
Right.
him in high school.
Yeah.
Si
Mhm.
James din nga, James na apelyido, James pangalan ko, kaya magaling yan eh.
Yeah.
That's now. I was following him. May bilang ako ng magazines niya. I bought his jersey. Sobrang hype talaga nung pagpasok na LeBron. And I think he overshot himself. Talagang napantayan niya yung hype na yon. Gusto
Yeah.
niya yung limelight na yon, no? And yun yung kagandahan kay LeBron. He doesn't shy away from the lights. Yung expectation niya sa sarili niya ay sa tingin ko dumadami pa. And the narrative of him being the greatest of all time, siya yung siya yung group niya rin yung nag-market noon, 'di ba? Kumbaga sila din. So,
Yeah.
yan. So, yung the chosen one, yung pick one, grabe yung hate niya natanggap din bago siya
Yeah.
pumasok. The Cleveland Cavaliers players were hating him na hindi niya kaya yan dahil high school lang siya. And true enough, medyo nag-adjust pa naman siya on his first 2 years. I think he did not make the playoffs. I think he was shut down by Ron Artest for 4 points. Nagulat pa siya sa NBA kasi yung katawan niya hindi pa ganun kaganda. Pero yung skills was there. Yeah. So yun yung masasabi ko, LeBron being the chosen one. Di yun madali for a high schooler. Di kagaya nila Kobe, nila Jermaine O'Neal. Si Kobe kasi had the time to grow. Dahan-dahan. Siya kagad nasa spotlight. Pero hindi natin din masabi, baka Kobe was made for the spotlight nung first year niya. Pero unlike yung spotlight ni LeBron,
Right. Unlike the spotlight of LeBron, I was actually going to allude to that, coach. Given yung the chosen one, now we're talking about the legacy of him, playing 18 years in all, and so far, and his longevity allowed him to play versus the father. Now he's playing against the son, and there's an opportunity maybe that he might, be playing alongside his son. Because I mean, let's face it, LeBron is one of the best conditioned basketball players there is. The amount of the volume of games that he's gone through, it's just parang amazing. Na up to now he's still there and playing, and there are a lot of expectations. I want to go back to that point, coach, of yung being the chosen one. I'm hearing a lot of people na, you know what, hindi pa naglalaro si LeBron, hate ko na si LeBron eh. Parang ganun yung statement nila No, he hasn't even stepped in a basketball game yet, an actual NBA game. Pero ganun na yung hate sa kanya. Even before he came in, I'm thinking probably it's because of his self-declaration of being the chosen one. Now, Francis, you've been there in the US. You're getting more close to the action there. What do you think's the thing about him? Marketing himself as being the chosen one, even if he hasn't played any NBA games yet.
Oh, at that time, nasa Pilipinas pa kasi ako nung when LeBron
wala pa siyang
made-
accent noon. Wala pa siyang
Wala
accent.
pa siyang accent noon. Alright. Wala pa siyang tuwang, coach. Wala pang
Wala
tuwang.
pa. Alright.
Di,
Ano tingin mo na, coach?
I remember that I remember the yung senior year ni LeBron, no? I think that's where like the hype really grew. And I remember the first criticism about LeBron that has not anything to do with his basketball skills or anything. ito yung time na yung nanay niya kumuha ng loan para bumili ng Hammer
Hammer.
H2.
Yes.
Yeah. At that time, syempre pag high school ka, paano nakabili nanay mo ng Hammer H2 kasi at the time parang nabubulat-lat na yung yung details about LeBron's personal life yung
Right.
nanay niya, kung saan sila lumaki, yung mga ganon. But at the time, his mom was able to purchase a Hammer H2 by a loan. At the time, yung Hammer H2 was cost like $50,000 to $60,000. Kung single mom ka na, isa lang yung trabaho mo, ganun, paano mo na-afford yung ganong klaseng loan?
Yeah.
So that was an indication na LeBron is gonna skip college and then will go to the NBA. As far as the chosen one is concerned, that was more of a media hype than actually LeBron's PR crew doing it, no? Kasi sila talaga yung, pero when I saw him play during his high school years, siya talaga yung first high school student na nakita ko na ay siguradong superstar to kasi because he had all the goods malaki, tapos malaki na mabilis, tapos like skills wise he was ready to play in the NBA and take that superstar role. Pero and then
Tama
we
yun,
also,
no?
and then
Teeing off from go ahead.
and then like after that, after he decided to declare his intentions to play in the NBA, sinign kagad siya ng Nike, 90 million,
Right.
which was the biggest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think
And
there've been a lot of parang conspiracy stories or theories about how LeBron got to the NBA and all these stories. We'll talk about that later on. I wanna go to some of our viewers. I think this is your friend, Coach Tik Tulyao. He says LeBron is a wise player, smart player, not clutch. We expect, but he has a photographic memory. Kabisado niya plays. I think si Tik
Grabe hate mo
Tulyao.
to. Grabe hate mo.
Si
Relax.
Tik Tulyao, tingin ko, has earned his right to be joining us here on the broadcast. Maybe he can share some of his thoughts, no, si Tik, no? Together with
Yeah,
Francis.
he really is a smart player, a wise player. Clutch, I think, in some games is clutch, pero meron talagang times na parang you want him to shoot the ball or just take over the game. And obviously, baka kasi sa tingin ko masyado natin binibase yung greatness from what we saw. 'Di ba? Kasi siguro nakita natin si Michael Jordan, 'di ba? Pag when it's clutch time, live and die sa kanya yung bola, 'di ba? Live and die sa kanya. Parang crucial moments, talagang siya maghawak ng bola. And yun yung siguro isa sa mga criticism kay LeBron na minsan pagka crucial, mahilig siya mag-defer. Although sinasabi lang, that's the great play, good play. Diba? Pero kung coach ka, sino ba yung gusto mo mag-decide ng game?
Right.
Yung highest paid player mo, yung best player mo? Or some guy na pinasahan ng best player mo o nag-defer yung best player mo? So, yun yung medyo naglalaro. And think of doon kay Francis, yung Hummer na yon, medyo controversial yon kasi winiweigh pa ni LeBron kung magka-college sa Ohio State or Duke. Parang pinapasakay pa nila lahat And then, nag-purchase ng Hummer yung mom niya. So, doon na nalaman na mag-NBA siya. And lo and behold, nagulat lahat, biglang Cleveland. And from Ohio siya, yun yung nag-number 1 pick, yung Cleveland. Ang lalim ng draft na yan kasi kaka-champion lang ni Carmelo niyan Kaka-champion lang ni Carmelo sa Syracuse.
Right.
Na mamaya mababanggit din natin si Carmelo later.
Pero alam mo when you go back to that time when LeBron was coming in, Francis and Coach James, the NBA was actually very hungry for another LeBron James because si Kobe Bryant was up and coming pa lang si Kobe that time, di ba? I mean, he had his years, his really good years, but most of it is starting to build up pa lang kasi nandun pa rin yung mga seniors sa Lakers during that time, no? Do you feel that hunger for another Michael Jordan kind of rushed LeBron into that status of being the chosen one?
Yes. Kasi at the time nung nag-retire si Jordan the second time, para nagkaroon talaga ng drop sa ratings ng NBA I mean, yes, nagtulong-tulong yung mga superstars at the time, sila Duncan, sila Kobe, sila
Mm.
KT, but David Stern, para kasi si David Stern as commissioner, he was always looking for the next marquee superstar na maglalaro sa NBA.
Right.
LeBron was the perfect player for that. And hindi mo rin masisit, pero ano talaga eh. I mean, he has all the tools, he has all the he has what it takes to be the next face of the NBA when he entered the league.
Right.
That's true. That's true. And na-overcome niya naman yung ano yung hype na yun eh. Nadala ni LeBron. 'Di ba? Scoring a lot, rebounding, and nadadala niya yung team as we progress. Mapag-uusapan natin yung teams that he had. And syempre, mapag-uusapan din natin later yung the decision and what
Yeah.
happened, ano ba nangyari, bakit maganda ba yon or shocking. Diba? Parang meron kasi ding narrative na they were trying to push LeBron to be the best player there is para marketing ng NBA, and also meron siyang sarili niyang marketing team that pushes narrative kung saan niya gusto mapunta si LeBron, ano yung next event, anong gagawin doon. They're trying to build a brand of LeBron. So, different way on how Michael Jordan was built kasi Jordan muna before ginawan siya ng brand. Here, they're trying to make LeBron a brand, and before playing pa lang, LeBron was already a brand, di ba? So, that's my
Right.
take on it.
As we see Stanley Suwayan and
Oy,
giving us a good message.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Stanley.
Thank you.
si Stanley. Oo,
Yes.
nasa Amerika na din ata to. May
Yeah.
accent. Kamusta ka dyan, bro? Ingat ka.
Right. Well, here's a good question from Eric Auge. Straightforward, coach, bakit grabe ang hate sa kanya, kay LeBron? Bakit nga ba? Why do you think?
Sino nagtanong? Coach?
Si Eric
Ayun.
Auge.
Si Doc. Doc Eric, one of the finest doctors orthopedic. Pag may mga pilay kayo, ganyan. I think the hate for LeBron is just the competitiveness of the other fan base. Fan base, siguro nakikita nilang kalaban si LeBron, ganyan. And also, he asked for it. For you to say na you're the greatest, meron kasamang ano yun eh, di ba? Na may kasamang criticism, of course. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na ako na yung pinakamagaling tapos expect na everyone will bow down to you. Diba? So,
Yes.
yun yung tingin ko kaya madami sa kanyang hate and hindi nagustuhan. And different approach kasi yung ginawa niya eh. Baka nabibigla din yung fans or tayong mga normal na nila lang nabibigla din sa ginawa niya. Yung biglang nag-decide siya na sa iba siya sasama. Bago yun, di ba? Superstars. And we could argue na parang ginaya niya lang yung Boston Celtics. Pero later, we'll take on that. And,
Right.
and also, sa tingin ko, yung hate just comes along with you being a great player or one of the greatest or the top player in your generation, your era. Si Michael Jordan also had hate. No? Si Kobe had haters. So, yung mga top players, I believe sila, siguro kung buhay na ako noon, sila Bill Russell, may mga haters din yun. Will Chamberlain, may haters din yun.
Pero coach
Pero
and Francis, go ahead, Francis, go ahead.
Pero kasi yung kay Bill Russell, kung merong haters sa kanya, but that was a different time period.
Yeah.
Right.
Racism was very rampant, and then fans getting tired of the competition kasi parang lagi na lang sila yung nag-champion every year. Gano'n.
Right.
And also, it's amplified because of the internet and social media.
Yeah, so social media has played a lot
Parang
into that.
You
Yeah.
put out a word or a criticism and it got shared and got blessed by people na parang kala mo it's already the universal truth. And it's just an opinion of one person, di ba? Parang,
That's right, coach. Exactly the point of one of our followers, si Hiram Aziz Dansal. He says, na mahirap kasi sa era ni LBJ, since it's the advent of social media, that played a lot also kasi everybody can just voice out their opinion. Exacto mismo. And we'll get to that in a little bit later on.
yes,
But one of
sabi rin niya, Hiram, pares kami. Yung minadali ng PR team niya, kaya matindi. Tsaka yung pinakamagaling na basketball player
ibang klase to.
Pinakamabait pala. Si Ronald
naman.
the Saint Tubid. Dahil magaling si LeBron, kaya madaming haters. Tama. Totoo yun. Kung hindi yan magaling, walang haters yan.
Right.
Pero
Diba?
actually, nagsimula talaga ang hate during that decision in 2010 eh. But we will talk about
Doon
that later.
dumami.
I will
Doon
talk about
dumami.
that later. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
kasi
that later.
doon
But
talaga nagsimula lahat eh. Doon talaga nagsimula
yeah,
lahat.
yeah.
First 7 years in the league, wala naman masyadong ganun eh. But it started there. But
Mm.
pag-usapan natin mamaya.
Right. So we've talked a lot about how LeBron has started from the chosen one all the way to all the hate and the social media. Now when we come back, we're gonna discuss about his teams, his high school teams, all the way to all his teams
Yeah,
in
exciting
the
yan.
NBA. And we're gonna
And
be right
while
back. Yeah, go ahead, Coach James.
bago tayo mag-commercial, while you're at it, I want you guys to check out Gunita Pavilion, ha? Check that out and kindly type in the chat box their number. We'll give you an instant shout out if you can still remember their numbers. See you
Right.
later.
And V81 Radio here with the Bounce Pass. We'll be right back with more on his topic about the LeBron legacy.
We'll be back shortly. This is Bounce Pass, only here on V81 Radio Worldwide. Good news para sa mga kababayan natin abroad. Mapapanood nyo na ang inyong mga paboritong V81 radio shows sa Amazon Fire TV. Simple lang ang gawin. Go to amazon.com at isearch lang ang V81 radio app and click install. Tiyak wala kayong shows na mamimiss dahil mapapanood nyo na ito anytime and anywhere you want. Gamit ang Amazon Fire TV. Tandaan lang, just install the V81 radio app and you're good to go. Another first from V81 Radio Worldwide. Kabayan, naho-homesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever.
B81 Radio, B81 Radio, ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. B81 Radio, B81 Radio, dahil mahal namin kayo. B81 Radio, B81 Radio, para sa inyo ito, B81 Radio.
Hi, I'm Noel Cabangon. Pinoy music bang hanap mo? Download the V81 radio app. Available on App Store and Google Play. Free now, free forever.
Now back to Bounce Pass, only here on V81 Radio Worldwide.
Well, welcome viewers. We're right back here on Bounce Pass at V81 Radio. Grabe, Coach James Bonting ako mapasabay doon sa pagkanta ni, ni Noel Cabangon.
Ako din, medyo memorize ko na.
Oo,
Again, guys,
nakaka-LSS, no?
while you're tuned in, go to Gunita Villas and Pavilion, the best kept secret. Imagine instead of checking in sa large resort, you can book here in Gunita with only 8 suites. You can pick your own corner in the expansive 2.5 hectares. You can stroll around the garden mask-free, diba? And even rent their ATVs where you're at it. Super lapit lang. Dito lang siya malapit sa Padre Pio. They have 4 rooms which has its own pool, kitchen, and living area. Sure kayo na family nyo lang ang kasama nyo. For increase, call 0956-839-1269. That's 0956-839-1269. We'll give you an automatic shout-out if you type it in the comment section. So yan, balik na tayo sa exciting nating usapan. Ang dami nang nagko-comment sa nakikita ko eh.
Right. Actually, as we bring in our guest for tonight, Francis Marasigan, of course, based in the US, he's joining us very early morning there. I think it's only 5:30 in the morning, so we appreciate Francis for having joined us in our episode. And to all our viewers as well, who continue to watch us here live on V81 Radio. A couple of questions or comments rather that I want to go to before we move on to our next topic about LeBron James. No, sabi dito ni Luigi Almerino, sabi niya, Coach Parantla. Ito, this is a fact. This is a fact, pare. This is a fact. Coach, this is a fact. Karamihan ng mga kakilala ko na puro hate lang naman ang alam, di naman marunong mag-basketball.
Well,
ganyan,
I
no?
think that's the fan base.
Yeah.
Marami din naman dyan yung fans na hindi rin talaga may mag-basketball but they follow basketball. That's the
Mhm.
beauty of it, 'di ba? Parang ako minsan fan ako ng ng football. 'Di ba marunong talaga. Pero lang
Mhm.
Mhm.
sa malo, you know?
Right.
Sa tingin ko there's a wider fan base especially with basketball being global.
Yep.
Talagang marami tayong kakaibang fan base and it's for the good of the sport. Na habang rabid yung fans, may hate, may love, may whatever, it just grows. I think it will help the sport grow. Even minsan madugo yung mga comments parang
Yeah.
saan nanggaling yun? Parang,
Actually, marami rin gano'n, eh. May mga fan nga ng F1 di naman marunong mag-drive, 'no? Yung anak
yeah,
ko
that's true.
sinunod
That's
sa
true.
F1 pero I mean, you know,
That's true.
there's just some parang charisma that, you know, brings you or either makes you hate a certain, personality. Sa inyo, Francis, where do you think all this hate is coming from? Kahit na hindi nagba-basketball, gano'n ang pakiramdam?
Ano lang eh, parang talagang ano eh, I think it's human nature to parang ano eh, yung lalo na kapag hindi siya naglalaro sa team mo, talagang the hate
Oh.
naturally comes from that, you know. Pero kasi ano eh, because dito kasi sa States, information can be ano, so may mga nalalaman sila tapos parang
Mhm.
gagamitin nila yon to as an
Mhm.
excuse to hate the person and you know,
Right. Tama. And, you
I
know,
agree dun sa ano, talagang ano lang. I think it's human nature lang talaga to
uh-huh.
Sa, sa,
It's either you love Superman or you hate Lex Luthor. Parang gano'n, eh, 'no?
yeah,
makita mo yung
yeah.
difference ng America tsaka ano eh, no? Ng
Uh-huh.
Philippines. Sa nila,
Mhm.
information, ganyan. Dito,
Yeah.
chismis. Chismis lang yun. High-tech chismis yung sa America pala. Kaya
Yeah.
maraming haters.
Yeah, ito
Anyway,
one other
yeah.
question, coach, before we get into that aspect of LeBron James. See Dwight Sagigid, one of the players from Olivares, the son of Coach Mike Sagigid. He's got a very interesting point, no? Coach Mike, what if LeBron James plays triangle offense? Will he get the same outcome? What do you think? Let's go to Francis first, then Coach James. Francis, what do you think? It's always been compared to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and the only thing that's different, I guess, with LeBron is he didn't actually play in the triangle offense. What do you think would happen if LeBron would have been forced to play the triangle?
I think kung skill set lang ang pag-uusapan yung magagawa naman siguro ng paraan 'yon, no? Kasi ano eh, but would LeBron like the idea of being a jump shooter probably like 70% of the time?
Mm-hmm.
Tapos yung kapag fast break kailangan yung tipong kanya na yung fast break tapos kailangan i-slow down pa niya kasi triangle, triangle. Yung
Mm-hmm.
mga ganon. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, magagawa ng paraan pero ano, would he like the idea of, you know, following a very intricate system na
Mm-hmm.
kasi if you look at LeBron's career, ano eh, he's so used to coaches na ano lang yung puro mga well, hindi yung mga di nagpapatakbo ng mga Princeton, motion offense, triangle, puro mga ano lang eh, yung tipong mga nagra-run ng mga horns or yung
Mm-hmm.
mga puro pistol actions, ganon. Yun yung mga
Mhm.
nakasanayan niya eh. Yung para sa kanya madadaling gawin,
Mm-hmm.
madaling ituro. Pero sa tingin ko sa triangle magagawa ng paraan but parang nasa kanya na kung if he's willing to be coached and to learn an intricate system like the triangle.
Mm-hmm. Coach James, I believe LeBron has a lot of IQ in there inside his basketball mind. But do you
Yep.
think he'd be, you know, flourishing in a triangle offense?
For me, I envy all the passes that he makes. No, especially in the triangle spot. Yung meron siyang mga passes na talagang out of this world, 'di ba? Parang nakikita niya pa pala 'yon, 'di ba? Yung with regards kung babagay siya sa triangle, sa tingin ko pwede siya mag-flourish doon pero baka ayawan niya. Tama si Francis doon, aayawan niya kasi yung usage bababa. And ayaw ni LeBron eh. When David Blatt was the
number of
coach of,
touches per game.
'di ba? They pushed out or kicked out. He definitely kicked out David Blatt out of Cleveland because of the offense. Medyo mabagal daw. And medyo nawawala. Siyempre mawawala din yung pag-rebound niya, fast break drive. Mawawala yung offense niya na yun, no?
Pero
And
can you blame him though, coach, to be asking that from Coach Blatt na, ang bagal ng laro. Now the game's, speed is everything in the game now. Is it unfair for him to ask of that from David Blatt?
eh, he's the best player in the world at that time. He could ask that, definitely. And even until now, I think yung offense nila, may say si LeBron. Yung personal nila, I think LeBron has a say on it as well. Diba? Dun sa Lakers pa
Yeah,
lang, obviously.
it was a team built by LeBron, eh. Parang specifically built for LeBron. So parang if you introduce like a system like that, talagang aayawan, eh.
Hypothetical ko, Francis and Coach James. At this age, at this time of yung his age, medyo nagkakaroon ng injuries are coming up. Wouldn't playing the triangle be beneficial to LeBron because it kind of slows him down and allows the others to let the system create all the points that it needs and the opportunities as opposed to, everything just kind of like pinned on him?
Yeah, I wish.
Kasi ako personally, I feel that Kobe Bryant would not have gotten that Achilles tear if he was still playing the triangle. Yun ang paniniwala ko eh. Because that forced him to move faster, more laterals, or
Yes.
more burst of speed. Unlike in triangle, it's not really that slow, pero mas conservative kumbaga yung mga movements.
Yeah, I think that would have helped him. Like right now, at this stage of his career, kasi mas siya, parang like I said, kasi di ba one of the things about the triangle is it makes you a jump shooter more than like a slasher. So I think him mastering the mid range, mastering the 3-point shot, I think that would have been a great weapon for LeBron James at this point of his career. That would have helped the Lakers too.
Right.
Even kahit medyo conservative yung laro, it also gives chances for Anthony too para maging mas maging complete na big man siya.
Ako, paniniwala ko, Coach James, tingin ko dapat pumasok na tong si Tic Tulyaw eh. Kasi medyo maganda yung mga
Sa
sinishare niya.
triangle, okay naman si LeBron sa triangle, but I don't think he will have a chance at being the greatest of all time kung nasa triangle siya. Kasi mawawala yung ibang gifts niya eh. Hindi niya na magagamit yung mababawasan yung assists niya, mababawasan yung rebounding niya kasi malilipat siya ng spot, 'di ba? Offensive rebounding niya mababawasan. And at the same time yung speed ng game na para mas madami siyang shots, mas marami siyang possessions, mababawasan.
Yeah, kasi iba rin ang dynamics kasi ng triangle. But it is interesting how he turns out kung nagkaroon siya ng opportunity to
I think it's a combination of
triangle
Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman in one.
Yes.
Parang
Pwede.
rolled into one. Yep.
Right.
Ganun ang mangyayari
Pwede.
sa kanya dyan.
Pwede, right. So now, I think si Francis has already alluded to this. The biggest thing really about LeBron James was that decision in the summer of 2010, where he decided to leave Cleveland and take his talents to South Beach. I think that was one of I would say the crucial turning point of that hate, I'd say, campaign on LeBron. Diyan yung nagsunog ng jersey, di ba? Kung maalala nyo. Nagsunog ng jersey. Sobrang emotional. Kasi I feel the attachment was there dun sa kay LeBron during that time. But this really goes back to, because this is the one that started the super teams for LeBron, no? The super team is another topic that we're going to discuss later. But I heard somebody told me that as early as high school, he was already falling in love with the notion of playing for super teams.
Yes, that's correct.
I think it was you, Coach James, that told me about
that's why
that.
I was
Can you tell the
alluding
story? Yeah.
No, maybe I wasn't the one who told you, but earlier in the show, I told you that we'll talk about Carmelo Anthony. He was in his mind, he wanted to join Carmelo Anthony in Oak Hill to form one of the best teams, and also Sebastian Telfair in another school. Sebastian Telfair at that time was the number 1 player, di ba? They played in the Rocker Park.
School, yes.
Yeah, when they were in high school. Si LeBron medyo na shutdown noon, si Sebastian Telfair nagdala ng game. They played in the Rocker Park. Sa mga follow niyo, hanapin niyo. Pero nangyari yan. Anyway, dati pa lang meron na talaga siyang inclination of joining a super team, no? No? So medyo bago sa pananaw natin, bago sa paningin natin, na parang magsama-sama sila doon sa isang team, high school team at that. Oak Hill.
Yeah, I remember, kasi ano yan parang dito sa Amerika ang tawag dyan, like parang siya yung nag-umpisa ng AAU generation, no? And we call the AAU generation. Kasi sa AAU, pwede kayo mag-team up sasali kayo ng isang liga tapos magsasama-sama kayo. I think that's what triggered that yung notion na kailangan mag-super team sila kasi sa AAU pwede mong gawin yun You can recruit your own coach, you can recruit your own players, like kaya ngayon nagiging crampag na siya dahil karamihan ng mga star players from LeBron's generation mga din, hindi lang sila mga product ng mga schools sila, but they're also a product of the AAU leagues. So I mean, naturally, pag bring-out up sa kanila yung idea na mag-super team, parang andali sa kanila gawin ngayon. But the concept of a super team didn't start with LeBron kasi nangyari na yun dati. And the first one was the Lakers, 1968, when Will Chamberlain decided to team up with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West for trying to finally beat the Celtics in a championship. Pero hindi pa rin nangyari kasi Russell was still beating them despite them being a super team and them being the three best playoff scorers and the three best regular season scorers of their time. I mean, hindi pa rin nangyari. But
Yep. That's true.
But
Dati pa
this
naman
so-called
nangyari.
AAU generation yung kay LeBron.
Right.
Pero the difference at that time, konti lang yung teams noon na pwede mong lipatan, di ba? Unlike now na ang dami, so ibig sabihin yung competition should be spread, di ba? Hindi na wala nang masyadong
Hindi
malakas.
siya concentrated on one right.
So that was a different era. So nagbigla lang siguro tayo that the prime players will go in one team. And yan, magandang topic yan, 2007, where they got swept by the Spurs.
Right.
But
yeah, I think when they got to the finals, if you recall yung playoff run ni LeBron with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2006, I think he went to the Eastern Conference semifinals against Detroit. They lost in 7 games. And then in 2007, he got them to the finals, no? Bringing these guys along. If we can show that slide again, you can dito makikita mo, Coach James, na the potential of a very young LeBron James bringing this I'd say hindi naman mediocre to, pero a lesser team compared to the other teams that was present back then.
Yeah, he had a all-star with him, si Ilgauskas, and a supporting cast. I think medyo kinakope nila yung the way the team of Iverson was built up. That's why Eric Snow and Larry Hughes was there. And they filled it up with Damon Jones, who had a career best year. I'm not sure kung naging all-star ba siya, almost an all-star. And then Boobie Gibson, who I loved in
Boobie
Texas. Yan.
Eric Snow.
Eric Snow, pero ang gamit talaga niyan, it's Ilgauskas, Damon Jones, Boobie Gibson,
Daniel
Marshall. Yan, yung mga yan. Verjao.
Pero dito nagkakaroon ng comparison, Coach, when it comes to the Michael Jordan conversation na, do you think Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, for that matter, could have brought this team to the finals?
Well, scoring-wise, depende naman yung build ng team Pero yung team na yan, well, come to think of it, Michael Jordan only played with one All-Star in all of his years. Isa lang yung naging All-Star. Si LeBron, dito, one All-Star lang kasama niya. Not sure kung si Damon Jones nga, nakalimutan ko na. And yun yung criticism na nadala niya kasi first time yan First time, di ba? Na parang, nabuhat ni LeBron, ang galing. Tapos he got swept by the Spurs. Kaya ako inuulit, got swept by the Spurs fan ako Sorry.
Yeah. So si Francis Coach Francis just had some problems with his connection. He's gonna be right back. But LeBron stayed for a while dito sa
Yep,
Cleveland,
they
no?
kept
In
on
fact,
trying. They kept on trying.
right, they kept on trying. In fact, after losing in the finals to the San Antonio Spurs, they went back to the Eastern Conference semifinals, again lost to Boston, and the following year lost to Orlando in the conference finals in the East, and then lost again in the semifinals to Boston. And after that, it's been the decision already, and which brought about the next era of basketball super teams, starting
Yep.
off with the big three of Miami.
Yes, I think this is the first time that this ever happened, that the prime players joined one team from different lineup. It's like when coming back to the Michael Jordan era or the strongest
Mhm.
draft, I believe ito yung 1996, 1984, and 2003. Yan yung strongest drafts. Diba? Yung draft ng 2003, imagine mo yung top players nila nagsama-sama sa isang team.
Mhm.
Bosh, Wade, and LeBron.
Mhm.
That's like the equivalent of you seeing Iverson, Kobe, and maybe Steve Nash in one team. And
Right.
then on the other side, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, and who's another guy? Olajuwon in one team.
Mhm.
So yun yung equivalent niya.
Yeah.
And medyo na ano sila, and I think yung first year nila, baka yun pa yung mag-damage dun sa legacy ni LeBron or the push for the greatest of all time. Of all
Mhm.
the seasons, baka itong
Mhm.
first year niya with Miami, where they
Mhm.
lost to the super underdog team of the Dallas Mavericks,
Mhm.
and where Dwayne Wade at that time was the one leading the charge for the Miami Heat.
Mhm. I think he got a lot of luck, coach, din dahil remember during that time, Bosch was in Toronto, no, and he wanted to leave, very undecided until he went for Miami, and everybody was waiting on LeBron James, and he had to make that televised decision in front of
Yeah.
everybody to tell everyone that I'm not staying in Cleveland anymore. Parang ganun,
Uh,
parang.
just it just left a bad taste in the mouth of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think just because again, sinabi nga ni Hiram kanina na una yung PR team talaga ni LBJ eh. Meron talaga siyang
Mhm.
PR team marketing stunt na they
Mhm.
want to build the brand, the LeBron James brand
Mhm.
while they're at it, 'di ba? They
Mhm.
want to milk this basketball world for what it's worth.
Right.
Parang ganon yung take eh. So, maganda naman kasi tinangkilik yun ng ESPN. Ang daming nanood. Everyone
Yeah.
waited for it. I even watched it. Although may rumors na lumabas, may mga naglabas na Miami na si LeBron.
Mhm.
And the whole world were in shock. Yung mga hindi fans ni LeBron at di fan na Miami, parang, bakit ganon? It seemed unfair. Di ba? Parang ganon
Mhm.
ang dating. Pero if
Right.
you're a LeBron fan, finally, malakas na yung team ni LeBron. And if you're a Miami fan, thank God. And doon din,
Mhm.
medyo hindi niya pwede suotin yung 23, di ba? Is another
Right.
topic. Di ba?
Right.
Bawal na suotin, maski hiningi
Right.
niya. Hindi siya
And
pinayagan ni Pat Riley.
let's remember, coach, nung first year na naglaro sa Miami, he was getting a lot of boosts from Cleveland. In fact, I think if I recall it, parang nagkaroon pa ng threat on security yung first game niya doon kasi sobrang higpit ng
Yeah,
security
yeah.
noon, if you
Oo.
remember that, no, following yung pagsunog ng and I agree with you, no, coach, about leaving a bad taste in doing that, aired the decision, no. I think one other thing that they mentioned there was that not one, not two, not three,
Oo,
that statement,
eight champion. Kasi ano
eight
lang,
championships.
again, baka kasi bagong era eh. Bago yung way of
Uh-huh.
of them doing things. Like him transferring to a stronger team or building a stronger team. Him proclaiming him the best ever. Him proclaim or greatest ever for that matter. Him proclaiming that they will get 8 championships. These are the things na naiisip din naman ng mga players. Sinasabi niya lang siguro. Baka medyo
Mhm.
conservative din yung mundo. And
Uh-huh.
again, he's a willing target. Gusto niya naman din yon. So he wants that attention. So he has it. So nung
Mhm.
natalo siya sa Dallas, I think that's a
Right.
bigger dampener to the greatest of all time push than any other season
He was
na meron
absent in
siya.
that game. He was
Oo,
absent in that
at
series, right?
series on. Medyo nag-absent siya nung couple of games. He scored 8. He got shut down. They were allowing him to shoot the perimeter shot
Right.
when Dallas
But
played zone
coaching brilliance as well on the side of
of Rick
the Dallas
Carlisle.
Mavericks of Rick Carlisle, right? Yeah, you gotta give it to him. Eto si some of our viewers are si Daryl Culaba says
Ah, yeah,
three
that's a good
teams,
friend
three
of mine.
championships. Yep.
Yep, that's true.
Legacy cemented. That's true.
Oh, that's true. Legacy cemented, 3 teams, 3 championships. Kahit saan siya lumipat, lumalakas yung team.
Right.
LeBron, that's a LeBron. Malakas talaga si LeBron. He's the
But
greatest
that
player in
is a
the
fact.
era.
That is
Yep.
a fact, coach.
Fact.
Any team, pag nilagay mo si LeBron, parang nagiging contender eh, di ba?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
Yes,
fact.
that's
That's a fact.
correct.
Yeah. And si Boyet Pagnamintan also, coach, one of our avid followers. Boss Boyet, good evening. Ang sabi niya, yes, nadala sa finals siya ng 2017 pero got swept. That's also a fact. And only the championship matters. Anyway, hindi nag-all-star or even close to being an all-star si Damon Jones. What happened to
Ganun ba?
Damon Jones na ba?
Di ko na alam. Pero maganda yung season niya that time. Maganda yung season niya. He was scoring a lot sa corner.
Mhm.
Maybe from the
Mhm.
kickouts of LeBron and Ilgauskas. But definitely, Ilgauskas was an all-star that year.
Yeah. And so as we have Francis back, it's good to have you back, Francis. So after that first attempt at the finals, finally nag-champion yung Miami in 2012 and 2013. What's your take on that back-to-back championship, coach?
Masakit. Masakit natalo yung Spurs ko eh. Pero,
Yeah.
masakit dahil natalo yung Spurs ko sa
Parang
pangalawa.
gusto
Pero,
mo tanungin, coach, where were
Oo.
you when that happened?
Oo.
Sige, go ahead, coach.
oo, champion na yan eh. Naalala ko yung mga fair weather fans ng Miami noon, umalis na eh. Pero,
Yeah.
na-shoot ni Ray Allen. Pero at that time, it was a great game. Ang ganda rin ng pinakita ng Miami with their supporting cast, Mike Miller, Ray Allen. Pero yun, at that time, LeBron was the best player hands down na.
Yeah.
The season before, pinag-isipan pa kung si Dwayne Wade ba o si Bosh. Pero nakita na si Bosh, hindi na. Or tas pinag-isipan na si Dwayne Wade ba o si LeBron na nagdadala ng team na to.
Mhm.
But after the season where they lost to my Spurs, they won it all. Si LeBron na talaga yung nagdala doon. Si LeBron nagpa-champion yan sa Miami Heat. Yung 2 championships, deservingly, LeBron won 2 finals MVPs as well.
But haters would say, coach, that if Ray Allen hadn't sank that 3, we wouldn't be talking about a 3rd championship for LeBron.
Well, maybe. Pero ang bigger shot for me when LeBron shot the ball, yung parang kala nila garbage time na 3 points. That was a bigger shot for me than the rebound of Ray Allen. Although big din yun, nag-miss yung, I think they calculated that in the percentage na ma-rebound tapos mapapasa ka Ray Allen off a free throw shot yun eh. Off a free throw
Right.
shot.
Right.
So naalala ko pa, mind blown. So, and then, yeah, pwedeng di siya nag-champion kung di na-shoot talaga ni Ray Allen yun. Pero at the end of the day, siya pa yung nagdala talaga nung team na yun. Siya yung gumagawa doon eh. Diba? Parang hindi naman mapupunta sa sitwasyon na yun si Ray Allen if not for LeBron James.
Mhm. Pero sabi ni Tik Tulyaw, culminated na yung career, decline na yan.
Hater.
Joke lang, love you guys.
Iba lang mag-isip. Hindi. Pero totoo, we'll see. We'll see kung magde-decline na. Numbers say yes. The numbers say yes. But with regards to the expectation, hindi pa din eh. We're still expecting him to be the best player out there sa NBA, maybe in the world.
Did you feel though, coach, na with LeBron moving to Miami, it actually did him good from a conditioning standpoint because alam mo naman sila Pat Riley, and Miami's been known about for conditioning. Do you think that kind of like helped him to have that culture of how important conditioning is, or alam na niya yon from the very start?
I think pagpunta niya doon is the first time na nakita niya on how an organization is run, a well-oiled organization is run with Pat Riley there. And nakita mo na may hierarchy of coaching, 'di ba? Bigla na lang inupo si Eric Spoelstra to the ranks yan. 'Di ba? To the ranks, tapos yung conditioning coach nila or conditioning nila is well known, 'di ba? Si
Right.
Pat Riley may siya mga pinapagawa na kailangan magawa mo. Pag di mo magawa, you're out of the team no matter who you are. That's why they had problems with Shaq nung
Right.
time na 'yon.
Mhm.
So, diyan natuto sa tingin ko si LeBron ng mga bagay on how to run an organization. and how to be more. And yes, matter of fact, malamang, dyan din siya natuto ng conditioning on how to take care of his body more.
One of the weirdest stories I've heard about when he was staying in Miami was there was a time na tumataas yung hairline niya, coach eh. Tapos he was growing thin. Tapos after a couple of weeks, you see him bulk up. Tapos nag-grow back yung buhok niya. The funny story that somebody told me about it was, that's gotta be roids. Sabi, steroids daw yun. What's your take on that? Steroids daw yun. Gaganon ka, pumaya, tapos biglang bulk up ka agad in 2 weeks time.
First of all, kung nakakagana talaga yung steroids at wala ng panot sa mundo, siguro yung mga mayayaman na kalbo sila
Nag-roids na
Jeff
lang.
Bezos, ginawa na yon, di ba? Ginawa na
Alright.
yon. So I don't think that na sa roids yun, no? Pero yung katawan talaga ni LeBron talaga malakas eh. Parang parang nakakalimutan natin athletic freak siya, and at the same time inaalagaan niya pa yung katawan niya. So talaga magugulpi ka talaga doon eh. Talagang he's a freak of nature, a force. Tapos ang galing pa mag-basketball.
Pero din ang football si LeBron.
Yeah, that's true. Pwedeng football player. Put him in any sport, he can flourish. Talaga athletic yung tao. Tapos magaling pa mag-basketball. He can handle the ball. He's tall, he's rangy, he can rebound the ball, he can pass the rock, he can read plays, di ba? He can score.
But and so finally, after winning those couple of titles for Miami, he finally made another decision, and this time he says, "I'm coming home." So he went back to Cleveland, right? So he went back to Cleveland, and when he went back to Cleveland, he won a couple of championships there. Of course, one championship rather. They went to the finals 3 times, lost to the Warriors twice, and I think nothing more bigger than the story about the 3-1 comeback Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah. When he went back to Cleveland, di ba may coach na sila? Di ba? All along, they were David Blatt. They were thinking of growing the team. Growing the team or developing Kyrie. But then, LeBron went back. So, kailangan yun ng backup. Kevin Love went back. Dumating si Kevin Love. Ang lakas na nila bigla, di ba? And, yeah, tama yun. Ang ganda ng comeback na yun against the Golden State Warriors, who were 73-9 at that time. I think did them in. They should
Don't
have not
rub it in, coach. You're hurting me.
No, they should not have went for that 73-9 record.
Right,
and they
I
could
agree.
have won the championship. That's why they
agree.
Bogut got injured, Damon Green got injured, and a couple of players got injured.
They pushed it too far, eh? Right.
They pushed for the history. Hindi naman sila Bulls eh. Joke lang. Hindi naman sila. Wala naman si Michael Jordan sa kanila.
But that comeback from a 3-1 was really fantastic. It was a story of I'd say the year in the basketball community. Francis, how was it like when that news came out that Cleveland Cavaliers upset the Golden State Warriors?
Well, I mean, there's combination of yung love and hate eh. Kasi di ba nga yung kahit bumalik na si LeBron sa Cleveland, kumbaga the hate that generated during the years that he was playing on the Heat, nandun pa rin. Kasi nga, dahil lagi nila sinisisi, kaya lang naman sila nakabalik ng ganyan kasi si Draymond Green na-injured, ganyan. But it was also a very nice story because Cleveland has never won any championship since the 60s. And the last championship that Cleveland, the city of Cleveland had was like yung Cleveland Browns ng 60s. 60s Browns, si Jim Brown.
Right,
Jim Brown was the star football player of that team. And it was a very good narrative to finally someone who's gonna bring a championship to Cleveland. And when LeBron when they forced the game 7, and then we also like probably one of the
greatest block.
Three
block of all time.
Right.
Nawala si Francis. I think that's the greatest block of all time when he blocked Andre Iguodala. Iguodala should have gone for the dunk. And ang crucial din doon yun na thrown out si Draymond Green. Pero kasalanan niya yun. And yung iba na haters
there's another story to that too, coach. Parang there was a conspiracy that said it was the NBA coming in helping LeBron get back into the series.
Yeah, maybe. But then
Mhm.
again, Draymond Green made a lot of nonsense
Right.
coming into that finals. Kaya
Right.
na-accumulate niya na yung technical fouls niya eh.
Mhm.
Diba? That's his fault. That's his fault.
Mhm.
That's his fault.
Mhm.
No matter how, kung konti lang yung technicals niya, hindi na, kung na-thrown out
Yeah.
siya nun, he won't be suspended.
And
And
obviously talaga namang flinail niya yung kamay niya, which,
yeah.
led to that ejection. Yeah, right.
And also, yung mga haters naman ni LeBron will say na yung dinala naman siya ni Kyrie. Kasi si Kyrie yung tumira
Oh.
ng last shot.
Right,
Well,
right.
true enough, si LeBron naman umupo lang doon sa corner. Pero LeBron did his job, di ba? Ano pa ba hingin mo? Na-block niya na nga, nag-score na siya ng game na yan. And ang dami niya nang ginawa, di ba? So, para
Mhm.
mapunta ka sa situation na yon, LeBron brought you there. Although,
Mhm.
Kyrie really made that shot alone. Diba? Him
Right.
handling the ball, doing an isolation play.
Mhm. Against Steph Curry.
Yep.
Yep. Well, see, one of the sweetest shooters that I know, Ron Lester Escudero Guerrero says, $1.5 million every year para sa katawan daw ni LeBron James. So much investment, coach, on,
Yeah,
conditioning nowadays.
if I were him din, ganun din gagawin ko. Like Tom Brady is doing to himself. Diba? Parang you
Mhm.
invest in yourself. You invest in something that gives you money. Definitely, that's his body, diba? More than the brain. Kasi yung brain ngayon ni LeBron talaga andun eh. Yung body niya nagdi-diminish eh. Ba yung brain niya umaangat eh, diba? Parang, yun nga
Right.
yung problema, yun yung kagandahan ng sport. The more you know in this sport or the more you know in this world, yung body mo naman yung nag-give up, diba? So, kailangan magkasama yan. Di pa pwedeng isa lang.
Yeah, but coach, you mentioned about Kyrie Irving sinking that championship winning shot by himself. Derek Galisa says, and he is correct. People are forgetting of his 41-point game in Game 5. That too
That's
is a
correct.
factor, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Kaya nga nakakalimutan na yung narrative na bakit ba sila andun sa time na yon. It was because of LeBron. That's why LeBron won the Finals MVP. Doon naman ako naniniwala that LeBron won the Finals MVP because of that. And yeah, sabi nga pala ni Mickey Pareñas, one of my good friends, my teammate from before. I think at 36 years old, but still at the level of talent and physical capability, grabe pa din, di ba? Oh, grabe talaga si LeBron. He's like one man show. You could put him in any team and that team will be a contender right now. Okay? Sabi ni Sir Boyet, wait lang. Let me look for your comments here. Yes, nadala sa finals yung 2007. Yeah, na-mention na to kanina. And yeah, sabi ni Hiram, malupit. Si Daryl. Sabi ni Daryl, hater kami ni Hiram Dansal. Pero na nag-Lakers na, lover na kami ni LeBron. Well, that's a true Laker fan right there. If you're a fan of the team, definitely you root for LeBron. And sabi ni Kuya Jordan, Attorney Jordan, Coach James, kung maging coach po si LeBron in the future, ang tawag po ba sa kanya Coach James o Coach LeBron? Sa tingin ko, kailangan niya na maging Coach LeBron kasi medyo andun na ako eh. Baka mapagkamalang ako siya eh.
made ka na, coach eh. Kumbaga, made ka na. Yeah. Well, I think more of the LeBron fans, we gotta give it to them. Ron here, clearly a LeBron fanatic. He says, if you remember Game 7, 27-11-11 plus that block on Iguodala, and he says that LeBron suggested na si Kyrie yung tumira kasi alam niya na magsiswitch sila kay Steph. They want that matchup. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, most probably yun naman yung naisip. Nagpunta siya sa corner. And Kyrie took the shot. At the end of the day, Kyrie took the shot. Diba?
Kyrie took the shot. That's right.
Pero, again, hindi sila mapupunta sa sitwasyon na yun if not for LeBron James.
Well,
that's why LeBron James was the MVP at that time, Finals MVP.
Right. And one of the things that you have to admire about LeBron James is that I'm not saying that this is the twilight part of his career, but on the latter part of his years, he really took on head on the challenge of being with the Los Angeles Lakers. Were you surprised that he goes to LA when he transferred to LA? Yeah. Or was it something that's planned along with Clutch Sports?
I know it was planned because they were planning of him again. they were trying to build LeBron from the get-go.
Mhm.
They're trying to look at LeBron as a brand. They want to bring that brand to Hollywood. And for them to go to Hollywood, you have to go to the Los Angeles Lakers. They didn't want to go to the Clippers at that time.
Yeah.
So they went to the Lakers. And I know for a fact they were trying to recruit a lot of players to go to the Lakers at that time.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think they were tied up due to the salary cap.
Mhm.
And then AD followed, and they became the bubble champs. Diba? Ang daming bubble players. Like yung Miami Heat,
Right.
puro mga bubble players. Ba? Sila Tyler
Wala na
Hero.
ngayon.
We called that last year.
Right, we called that last year, right.
Just because there were no fans and they were disciplined and they cannot go out. They will have
bright
less
lights.
distractions.
Right, no bright lights, no advantage of home court, no,
Yep.
all these other advantages when you're playing home court. And we called it right last year when we did that episode that, really it's not that season that proves that these players are worthy of whatever it is that we're expecting from them. We'll see next year once the fans are come back. And, true enough, these teams like Miami having some difficulty, and Tyler Hero, I think, missing a lot in the season.
Yeah, Tyler Hero was gone.
Right.
Pati yung iba niyang kakampi, they were gone.
Mhm. But before we move, Coach, one thing about them being the bubble champs, do you think it was a huge mistake that they let go of the big guys in Dwight and
Howard.
JaVale? Yeah.
I think I
Wasn't the-
said that in one of our podcasts. I don't know to whom I
Mhm.
said it. I think
Mhm.
they were making a mistake when everyone was celebrating Harrell going to the Los Angeles Lakers. I was like, that's a wrong move because Harrell cannot contain someone in the post. Unlike Dwight Howard, who made it possible for them to take Jokic
Right.
out of his game. Ba?
Right.
Yung physicality of Dwight Howard. At that time, I knew they will have a hard time when they play Denver. Parang iniisip ko eh. And then they
Mhm.
got Gasol and all these players. So
Mhm.
they're a pretty stacked team. Even without AD, nung natalo sila this year, they're a stacked team.
Right.
Diba? Drummond, Gasol,
Mhm.
and all those players. For me, I believe they were favored to win against the Phoenix Suns. I was
I agree.
saying that they should have won against the Phoenix Suns even without AD.
I agree.
I think even Vegas and the odds makers were calling it like that.
I agree. That's right. And so we're gonna come back, Coach James, with more on the bubble champs, the LA Lakers, and their season that was after exiting the first
Yep.
round of
And I think we're going to talk
the playoffs.
about as well the greatest of all time talk. So ito
Right.
na yung
And
juicy part.
so when we come back, it's going to be the culmination of our episode for the night. We're going to talk about a little bit about the bubble champs and what went wrong and who really is the greatest of all time. When Coach Mike and Coach James with Bounce Pass will be right back.
We'll be
Bye.
back shortly. This is Bounce Pass, only here on V81 Radio Worldwide. Sa mga Ilonggo, pantayan sa 2021.
Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
Connected ka na ba para laging updated sa mga bagong shows, promos, trending news, viral videos, events, o patok na OPM hits? Just follow us on Facebook. Simple lang. I-type lang ang letter V81 Radio. O, di ba madali lang? Kaya i-like at i-follow na.
Hi, I am Christian Bautista. Pinoy music ba ang hanap mo? Download the V81 Radio app, available on the App Store and Google Play. Free now, free forever.
Ito ang radio mo. Ito ang radio ko. Dahil mahal namin kayo. Para sa inyo ito, V81
Now back to Bounce Pass, only here on V81 Radio Worldwide.
All right, we are back here on Bounce Pass. Coach Mike here together with my partner, Coach James Tolentino, and we were talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and the Bubble Championship. Well, one of our a new viewer here, si Joshua Pangilinan, he says, "I'm a new viewer. Some Bubble standouts played well this year, like Mitchell, Booker, and
Yep,
Jamal Murray. Right?
that's true. That's true. That's true. A lot of bubble standouts as well. But
Yeah.
bago tayo pumunta sa topic, again, visit Gunita Villas and Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
Best kept secret. Instead of checking in sa large resorts, dito na kayo mag-book sa Gunita. With only 8 suites, you can pick your own corner in the expansive resort of 2.5 hectares. You can stroll around the garden mask-free and even rent their ATVs. Super lapit lang. Dito lang siya, malapit sa Padre Pio. They have 4 rooms, which has its own pool, kitchen, living room. So sure na kayo na family nyo lang makasama nyo. For inquiries, call 0956-839-1269. That's 0956-839-1269. We'll give you an automatic shout out if you typed it in the comment section below. Let's go.
All right. So yeah, well, in case you just joined us, we were discussing about the legacy of LeBron James. What impact has their early exit in the playoffs this year after losing to the Suns? Does it dampen his legacy, or what impact does it have on him? Coach, yung sa ano, yung sa dito sa bubble ng ng Lakers, do you feel that LeBron James really needs another superstar to be helping him out? What are some of the signs that you saw that maybe there's a lot of change or some minor changes that he has to make in terms of approaching the game?
In right now, coming
Yep.
from this year to next
Coming
year,
from that series, yeah, we all expected that he'd be winning over Los Angeles would be winning over the Suns, but eventually they lost. What were some of the things that you noticed in that series?
for one, I noticed that he wasn't able to take over the game from a points perspective. But he wasn't able to take over games when he needed to. So although he still played well with the team, pick his spots here and there.
Mhm.
But then again, he was asking for it. He said he could carry the shoulders. To his shoulders, he will carry the team. But
Right.
kulang talaga yung scoring niya. For me, kulang yung scoring niya for this year. Bumaba, doon nag-decline. Over over any other thing. Sa tingin ko yung scoring niya, bumaba talaga this year.
Yeah. And well, as we have Francis back right here, one of the things that I noticed though is that not just for LeBron James, but I feel the game is missing that part of the game wherein you use your post moves or your post plays. I felt that clearly was absent in LeBron James. I mean, throughout these years, I haven't seen him, do all these footwork of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant from a post standpoint. So everything has to be downhill and facing the basket. So speaking of the MVP finals now, we know that LeBron has won 4, and we just want to show you who has won the most finals MVP awards. And of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, followed by Michael Jordan, all tied with 6, Bill Russell with 5, and LeBron coming in fourth with 4, and Wilt with 4 as well. This is some prestigious company,
Yeah, that's
Francis
why
and Coach James, that he's in.
that's why kailangan sabihin talaga that LeBron's legacy is already cemented. He's on the top of the greatest players of all time. And sa sinasabi mo, Coach Mike, na walang post si LeBron. Well, because of the rules. Yung rules kasi right now gives more emphasis on you driving the basketball than you going to the post. They allow more defense with you posting up than you driving to the basket. Kaya that's why I think mas more emphasis on them posting up, on them driving to the lanes than posting up.
Yep. Lester, we wanna check on that. Your take on that this is the list of the most MVP awards and not the finals, because during the time of Russell and Wilt there was no finals. Wanna check on that. But we'll take note of that, Lester. Francis, you were saying,
Oh,
what's your take about him being on this list? Yeah.
oh, yeah, very prestigious list. Pero ano eh, I mean, for me, kasi ano eh, yung iba kasi, ano eh, winning the final MVP is also a good way of cementing your legacy, no? Like Jordan was 6-0. He was the finals MVP in all of those championship series. LeBron is the same thing.
Mhm.
Four championships. Was the best player in all of those series. He would have been in a much more serious discussion siguro sa GOAT if kung nakuha niya itong kung fifth championship this year and being the best player in that series. But move on na lang ako.
Move on, mga Laker fans. Pero
move on na lang. I mean,
teeing up from what Francis said, I think we could already see last year that there were really times, although yung championship or the finals, I think game 4 or game 5 when LeBron cemented the MVP. Diba? We were the fans and the numbers say that AD and him was neck and neck. But then they got separated in the last 2 games, I think. So medyo may ganun ng competition, unlike on previous na championships ni LeBron with Miami and Cleveland. Alam mo na siya. Bago pa lang si LeBron. Si LeBron talaga MVP. And then first time sa history ng playing career ni LeBron, yung finals MVP was still up in the air by game 4. Game 4 or game 5. 5 and 6, alam mo na si LeBron na after that.
Right. Well, tonight being open mic night, one of our guests normally who would join us is also wants to join in and join in the conversation. Coach Dino Enrile?
Yun, Coach Dino.
Coach Dino, what's up, Coach?
Magandang gabi sa inyo,
Kompleto na yung palibhasa, lalaki. Andito na si Richard Gomez.
Coach Dino.
Magandang gabi, Coach James, Coach Mike, Francis.
Kaya ka namin talaga pinapasok, Coach Dino, kasi si Ron Lester Escudero, tinatanong niya, wala pa daw finals MVP nung time ni Russell and Wilt.
Meron na ba nun?
Mga kabatch mo kasi yun eh. Ano bang masasabi mo doon?
Wala pa.
Wala pa?
Wala pa.
Wala pa that time?
Maglilib na nga ako. Puto,
Joke lang.
Sige, go ahead, Coach. What's your take on this? LeBron James,
sa akin,
his legacy.
doon sa list na yun, everybody is, maganda yung list na yun, very elite cast, no? But sa akin yung GOAT kasi, it's not only how many championships you make, eh. It's how yung demeanor. For me, your demeanor on and off the court. That's one, eh. Kasi you must remember, if you're a basketball player, you're being idolized. Eh. Lots of kids idolize you, di ba? So, yung demeanor mo, yung attitude mo towards the other players, towards the game, and off court also, di ba? LeBron James, sorry ako Laker fan ako eh. Pero kung kunyari pag-uusapan mo yung GOAT, hindi ako kay LeBron eh. Not because I don't like how he plays, no. Off court, ang galing eh. Ang dami niyang mga dinodonate, ang dami niyang tinutulong ang bata, less privilege, di ba? Doon lang sa, hindi naman number of championships eh. It's yung, kung compare mo siya kay Jordan, mas maraming magagawang problema si Jordan sa kalaban eh, kumpara kay LeBron eh. Plus, sorry I have to be frank. Si Jordan, di ko nakita nag-flop eh. Hindi ko nakita nag-flop. Para sa akin, napaka-illogical yung magbabayad ka ng $1.5 million do, para mag-train ka, power lifter ka, gym ka, tapos makanti ka lang, kala mo tinaga ka na sa leg. Hindi naman sorry si Francis, alam ko ano yan eh. Pero pareho tayong Laker fan.
Yeah.
Panahon pa niya ni Jabbar. So, yun lang sa akin yun lang sa akin. Pero I'm not against LeBron. Truly he's one of the greatest players right now in his era. And yung sa GOAT, tama rin si Jordan doon. He has to respect other players who he did not compete against during, di ba? Hindi natin alam no? Galing ni si Jabbar ba nandun against Jordan o si ano, di ba? So mas maganda yan, greatest during his era. Di ba? Pwede, no? Pero kung GOAT, ang layo ni LeBron kay Jordan para sa akin. Di ba? Tsaka yung the time na Jordan played during his era, grabe yung physicality ng laro, no? Grabe yung physicality. Ngayon, sabi nga ni Coach James, di ba, na ba't walang post, di ba? Kasi yung yung laro ngayon, it caters you how you can attack the lane, di ba?
Right.
Oo, So, kung si Jordan, sabi nga nila, di ba, he could score easily 50 points. Di ba? Yung ngayon, kung ngayon, yung prime Jordan, prime Jordan. Ayun lang.
But I want to ask the panel. He brought up a good point. Palaging napapag-usapan ito. LeBron would not survive in the 80s because of the physicality. What's your take on that, Coach James and Francis? What's your take? I think I've heard the side of Coach Dino na. Coach James, what's your say on that?
I think this guy is strong and can flourish in this game. No? Pero maski dun sa physicality yun, sa tingin ko kayang-kaya ni LeBron yun. I think
ano masasabi mo, Coach, dun sa
I just don't know kung tatagal siya ng ganyan. Kasi pwede pilay.
Tama ka doon, Coach James. Agree ako sa sinabi mo.
Ano masasabi nyo dun sa Coach? Dun sa na he's no different from Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson. He only has handles. Parang ganun yung comparison.
Well, Larry Johnson with handles is a big problem. Number one. Diba?
Yes.
Number one.
Yes.
It's a very big problem. Diba? Parang LeBron. It's a very big problem. Pwedeng totoo yun. Pero don't downplay the idea na Larry Johnson with handles won't dominate the league. Diba? That would be a scary thought. That like what we're seeing right now with LeBron. And to say na hindi siya mag-survive sa ibang era, magso-survive siya. We just don't know do sa longevity kasi ang daming pwedeng aksidente. Ang daming pwedeng aksidente that time. And he has to change his game. And sa tingin ko maging kamukha niya yung game talaga ni Magic. And talaga sa akin ang best comparison with LeBron, Magic Johnson.
At saka I mean, physically, imposible hindi siya makasurvive sa during the previous era. But it's more of the mental.
Yeah.
May mga players, there's players like Dennis Rodman, Rick Mahorn, I mean,
Maxwell.
They're not the most talented players, pero they like to get in your head.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also the rules allows it at that time.
Yep. Tapos, no blood, no foul, di ba? May ganun pa dati, especially in the 80s, mas And when you face a team like the Bad Boys Pistons, talagang it will drain you physically and mentally kasi you have to if you're gonna win you have to go through them hindi pwedeng hindi mo sila i-ignore diba?
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid watching one of the video clips of or commercial video of the NBA. Medyo kinabahan ako yung parang nagka-crash palagi ang tugtog pa, bad to the bone. Sa semblang. Grabe naman.
Nakakatakot, di ba? Nakakatakot.
Medyo nakakatakot.
Tapos yung Knicks din noong 90s, parang kinokopya nila yung 80s, di ba?
Yeah, that's correct.
Kila Alonso Morning. Yeah, all right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
He will survive.
Tama yung sinabi ni Coach James.
Yeah, nakakatakot na yung era na
Tama yung sinabi ni Coach James. Yung physicality tatagal si LeBron. Pero
mental.
Kasi malakas Pero yung day in, day out, pati yung mental kakayanin ba niya? Kaya niya, malakas Pero, di ba? 82 games regular season, araw-araw gulpihan, di ba? Top caliber teams ang kalaban mo, top caliber players. Yung kaya niya pero tatagal, 'di ba? Baka mamaya araw-araw suntukan na lang 'yan
Yun
Right. Pero kasi malakas talaga siya. He's a freak of nature. Malakas talaga Malakas talaga, coach. Ang laki talaga, 'di ba? Parang locomotive di ba? Train. Haharangin mo ba 'to, 'di ba? Malakas siya
Well,
pero hindi
Coach
natin
Dino,
masabi, 'di ba?
yeah. Coach Dino, there's actually a good question here, and to everyone else in the panel, no? Si Joshua Pangilinan, he says, big question. Can LeBron play with the big boys of the 90s without a jumper? Malone,
Ayun na nga.
Barkley, and big centers, he can probably be a big guard without shooting. So he'd be kind of like parang ano lang ba? Parang
Ben
Giannis
Simmons.
Antetokounmpo, parang ganun. Parang
He'll be
ganun.
like Magic Johnson. I think he'll be like Magic Johnson.
But Magic's got tama naman.
He got the jumper
Right.
when in the later part, pero yung
Right.
talagang drive, post,
Right.
and directing traffic, I think he'll be like Magic.
Kung walang jumper, tama. Tama si Coach James, no? Magic Johnson was focused on more of creating plays, eh. Ganun ang magiging trabaho ni LeBron. But the thing is, he has to, hindi katulad ng Jordan. Pagpasok ni Jordan, puro dunk, eh. Dunk dito, dunk doon, di ba? Ang gusto ko lang sa kanya kasi is, nag-evolve siya, eh. Habang tumatanda siya, di ba? Nag-evolve siya, nagkaroon na ng shooting, hanggang sa yung latter part of his years, may unstoppable fadeaway jumper na siya. 'Di ba? Yun ang gusto ko sa kanya, nag-i-evolve siya. Kaya kahit ilang taon na siya, kakatakutan mo pa rin siya. 'Di ba? Dahil alam niya kung paano siya gumawa. He could create a score anytime, 'di ba? Kay LeBron, yun kailangan yung shooting niya.
So now,
siya.
Yeah.
Hindi kasi siguro ang difference when, as I've said, di ba, LeBron's, ang galing score ni LeBron, malakas siya, ganun. Pero that's not his strongest suit, yung scoring. Baka yun doon siya nagkaroon ng medyo problema in several times. So when they needed the score, wala siyang mapaghugutan nun. No? Oy, konti
kasi
yung
ata nung high school niya. Guardia talaga laro niya nung
pero galing
talagang
talaga.
pumapasok talaga siya nung time na yun, eh.
Yeah. And so now it brings us, let's hit it straight on the horn. Who do you think is the greatest of all time now? These three players have always been compared, and you can't help but discuss this. Who then is the greatest of all time? Let's just limit this to these three guys. Who's your vote? Let's put a closure to this, a bounce pass closure on who the greatest is of all time is. I'm gonna start with Francis, and then maybe we Coach Dino, then Francis, Coach James. Go Coach Dino. Oh, Francis rather. Francis.
Okay.
Go ahead, Francis.
Ako may isasama akong isa, eh. Panahon ko.
Sino?
yung panahon
Jaworski.
Ponky.
If ever there's going to be a comparison, my take lang to, we're forgetting about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
All-time leading scorer up to now, di ba? Plus,
Yes.
he has the most lethal weapon na unstoppable, yung skyhook niya.
Right.
Di ba? Pero syempre, matanda na siya, so hindi na siya kilala, di ba? Pero para
ikaw,
sa akin,
kilala ka pa, Coach.
he has to be there, no? If you're thinking of the greatest of all time.
Pero ikaw, Coach, kilala ka pa.
Ako? Kilala pa ako nun, mas matanda ata ako dun, eh. Pero yan, kidding aside, no? Si Jabbar, no, na ano ko sa kanya, because nakita ko siya, Laker fan ako. Hype yung skyhook na, eh. Unstoppable yun, eh. Mahirap yan, eh. At 7 feet, tapos magsa-skyhook sa'yo, paano mo naman bablangkayan yun, di ba? Tsaka na-perfect ngayon, eh. Pero dun sa tatlo, ako, Jordan ako.
Okay.
Jordan ako. Any time of the day. 10 times scoring champion, di ba? Consecutive. 6-0 in the finals. Di ba? If there was a time, di ba, MVP siya ng finals, MVP ng season, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star MVP, lahat na kinuha na, eh. Nag-slam dunk pa siya.
Right.
Kung natuto lang siya mag 3 points nun, baka kinuha pa niya yun, eh. Di ba? Pero yun, sa akin, nobody can match that. Yung year na yun, grabe. Jordan year yun. Grabe yun.
All right.
So yun lang sa akin.
So Jordan gets one vote. Francis?
Okay. Since nagkabanggitan na rin mga lumang player, no? For me, there's 1A and 1B. Well, 1A is Jordan, and then 1B is Will Chamberlain.
Mhm.
Probably yung kasi dahil si Will Chamberlain, ang dami pa rin niyang records na kailangan i-break. Kailangan i-break ng mga players ngayon, no? Um, the NBA made a lot of changes because of its dominance, no? Maliban sa scoring record and everything, I mean, talagang kahit sinong player from his era will say like he's the best player that they've ever seen, no? Kasi parang kahit dun si Jordan nung umaangat sa NBA, like he's the best player since lagi sinasabi he's the best player since Will Chamberlain. Yun palagi sinasabi sa kanya kasi because of the way Will dominate the game, even though may lang siya, may dalawang championship, yun lang talaga yung parang yun ang parang discredit sa kanya kasi because of those only 2 championships ang palaging natatalo kay Bill Russell sa playoffs. But kung ako pero among these 3, I mean Jordan is the GOAT. Like unfortunately he never played for the Lakers, but I acknowledge him as the greatest player of all time. 10-time
Who's
scoring
next after
champion.
him? If you're going to
Six-time
choose among the 3.
6-time NBA champion, 6-time Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year,
Right.
and multiple-time All-Star MVP. When the All-Star game still has that prestige, unlike nowadays, you know.
Yep.
I mean, hanggang kasi parang transcend. I mean, tsaka siya talaga yung parang naging poster boy nung mga NBA players as a marketing tool, di ba? Parang and he created he was the shoe generation too kasi before Jordan bili ka lang ng sapatos kasi wala
Panglaro.
panlaro ka lang ganyan pero
right.
nowadays when Jordan and Nike team up together parang shoes are cool now parang it's cool to have a Jordan shoe, di ba? Pag maglalaro ka sa kahit naman sa mga lima-limahan lang makita ka naka-Jordan na sapatos may target ka na sa likod kasi di ba? I-expect nila magaling ka kasi may naka-Jordan shoes ka. His game is more than just yung impact niya is more than just on the basketball court. Pati sa pop culture and then doon talaga siya nag-stand out the most sa labas ng basketball court.
So that's another vote for MJ. So
The
Coach
question ko
James,
sana kung paano nila i-arrange yung tatlong yan. Diba?
who's
Total,
1,
tatlo lang
who's
yung
2, who's
pinag-usapan.
3? Right. That's interesting. O sige, quick round. Coach Dino, who's your 1, 2, 3 in these 3 guys?
Nakamute ka, Coach. Nakamute ka.
Coach, may pinipindot dyan. Mute.
Yan. 1, 2, 3 ako. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron.
Okay.
Grabe. Okay.
Grabe. Sige.
Ikaw, Francis.
Francis, ikaw.
Mahirap. Basta alam ko si Jordan number 1
Medyo challenge
Laker fan eh.
Right.
Yeah, pero like I said, si Will Chamberlain is 1A, Jordan is 1A, Will Chamberlain is 1B, no? Pero
no, but just these 3 guys. Francis,
pero
just these 3 guys. Sino 1, 2, 3 mo dyan?
Ilalagay si LeBron sa si Kobe.
Sige. Let's leave it at that. Francis.
Gusto niya ilagay si Samboy Lim. Letran niya.
Hindi pwede.
Number one din sa puso ko yan. Samboy Lim. Number 1 sa puso ko yan. Number 1 sa puso ko yan.
Coach James, your take.
My take, I have to give the greatest of all time to Michael Jordan over LeBron and then Kobe. So, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. So, kaya ko lang naman binigay kay Jordan just because on how he won it. He won 6 championship with just 1 All-Star with him at that time. So, si LeBron, only 1 time that he won the championship with 1 All-Star or kasi bubble nun eh. The rest, at least 2 All-Stars ang kasama ni LeBron. And also yung pero may time pa si LeBron. I think may time pa siya to in the next couple of years if he becomes MVP, Finals MVP, and wins the championship for the
If he
next
gets
couple of years.
6, Coach, if he gets 6,
And
is
he wins the
better than
Finals
MJ?
MVP, I think that will be a big case for him. Baka mas win
Yes.
ako doon.
Yes.
If he gets he becomes the Finals MVP for 2 straight years, 'di ba? On the next 2 years. I think medyo mas lamang na siya kay Jordan noon, nung time na yan. In
Pero
fairness.
kasi realistically speaking, I mean, as a Laker fan, I have to accept the reality that the window has closed for us to win a championship. But it's up to Rob Pelinka paano niya bubuin uli yung championship team na yun kasi with yung current cap at saka yung talagang we have kailangan bumata ng team, tas kailangan very healthy, and it depends. Kahit pa sabihin nila ba we'll be back for vengeance, pero the door has closed already, but we have to open the windows if we want to.
Yeah.
We have to open those windows again if we want to
Tama
win a
yan.
championship.
Na talaga may time pa si LeBron, pero 'di ba on the way he will win. Yun yung tanong on the way he will win the next couple of years.
Right.
Masyado ba siyang madaming help o talagang bubuhatin yung team niya sa finals for the next 2 years like what Jordan did?
Tsaka Coach, parang
Yun
medyo
yung,
alarm.
pero pag nagawa niya yun, talagang wow. Lalagpasan niya si Jordan for me.
Yeah. Pero Coach James, medyo alarming din kasi yung in one of the statements this year made by LeBron is that he's not sure if he's gonna get back to 100%.
Well, no one is 100% when you're playing basketball in a season.
Okay.
Diba? Talagang may mapilay ka here and there. And siguro just for media marketing. Again, LeBron is a brand. Di mo natin malaman ano yung gusto nila mangyari, 'di ba? Parang
if ever they need to get someone who could pass
carry the
pass
load.
the torch to, kumbaga.
Right.
Diba? Kaya may makuha sila, Doncic, so LeBron to Doncic na yan, yung transition ba?
Si Luka Doncic na
mga ganun ba?
Yeah, I think Luka Doncic has a chance
Scary.
to overcome to
parang
be part
Magic
of the
tsaka Bird yun na combination
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Diba? Gabi yun.
Yep. Well, tonight's conversation has been pretty interesting, and we were thinking that it would last only for maybe an hour or so, but we're almost 2 hours in, and we still have a lot of items to talk about. I want to thank Coach Dino for joining us. Coach Dino, maraming salamat.
Salamat.
For joining our open mic night.
Enjoy ako kausap kayo Nandiyan pa si
kami rin, nag-enjoy
Zion.
rin kami.
Kala ko si Zion. Williamson, di ba?
Si Francis.
Si Francis pala.
Thank you, Coach.
Kala ko
Binabati ka ni
si
King,
Williamson.
importante. Binabati ka ni King.
Right. We want to thank
player of all time, King importante.
Correct.
Yes, importante, right? Kanina may message siya sa'yo kanina, Coach James. I forgot to
Sabi niya,
read
Coach
it.
Dino, ang pogi-pogi mo. Sabi niya.
Patay tayo dyan. Kailan ba tayo? Tagal-tagal na natin hindi pa nag-uumpisa. Tambay-tambay lang talaga.
Lapit na yan, MPBL.
All right. So on that note, Coach
I think may
Coach
mga
Dino,
magandang
thank
question
you.
pa doon. Sige, later na
Yeah,
lang.
we'll get to some of the questions later, but we have to let go of our guest Francis. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Coach Dino,
Boss
thank you as
Francis.
well.
Thank you, coaches.
Thank you po, mga
Pasensya
idol.
na talaga. Medyo
Coaches.
unstable ang internet connection ko, pero
Ano ba yan? Third world
Thank you.
country
It's an
ata yung
honor
Amerika.
Kaya, Coach
Ano
Sean,
nga, salamat sa inyo kasi it's always an honor to be a guest here sa Bounce Pass.
Yeah,
thank
huwag
you,
kayong
Francis.
madadala sa amin. Huwag
Okay,
kayong
madadala. Maski anong kantsaw namin, ha?
Join us again next
Coach
time.
Cholo
Ano,
ka,
sorry,
pag ano kayo dyan, ha?
Ayan, kay Coach Cholo
Register
ka.
na kayo. Yan.
Alright.
Tapos Art Circle Gallery. Okay?
Bili
Yes,
kayo ng
tayo
art.
dyan.
Oo,
Yep.
tama.
Yes.
Thank you,
Dennis
Coach
Galisa.
Dino
Idol.
and
Thank you po.
Francis. Salamat.
Salamat.
Thank you very much. Wow, sobrang we wanted to get more time, but there's another show that's coming up after us. So,
Yep.
you want to take some quick questions that you're
Sige,
seeing,
Coach. Sige,
Coach
Coach.
James?
Nakita ko lang madami, pero hindi ko na
Yeah.
wait lang. Let me see. This one, what will be the effect when LeBron retires? Sabi ni Luis Almerino. I think it's related to Luigi. Hi po. Yan. Si Luis pala, kapatid ni Luigi. Ngayon, nanlabo ng mata ko, so hindi kita nakita. Anyway, what will be the effect kapag nag-retire si LeBron? I think it will be a sad day for the basketball population in general, no? But I think there's plenty of players that can hold the torch for him after he retires and push our sport forward. Pero it will be a sad day.
Yeah. Coach, I don't think I can hear you. I'm having problems with my audio. So you can just go on and proceed.
We'll be back shortly. This is Bounce Pass, only here on V81 Radio Worldwide. Connected ka na ba para laging updated sa mga bagong shows, promos, trending news, viral videos, events, o patok na OPM hits? Just follow us on Facebook. Simple lang. I-type lang ang letter V81 Radio. O, di ba madali lang? Kaya i-like at i-follow na.
Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio, dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio, para sa inyo to, V81 Radio.
Hey there, this is Garrett Coleman. Pinoy music ba ang hanap nyo? Download the V81 Radio app, available on the Apple Store and Google Play. Free now, free forever.
Now back to Bounce Pass, only here on V81 Radio Worldwide.
Good evening ulit. Can you hear me now, guys? Sorry, I think I lost my audio while Coach Mike is having problems with his audio as well. As I was saying that the GOAT conversation, mabigat din yung 3 championships with 3 different teams. Mabigat yon for LeBron. And sabi ni Don Panginiban, LeBron daw ang best player niya. Okay, we also understand that. And yes, tama si Ron. I agree with you. May time pa si LeBron. That's correct.
Right. So anyway, yeah, Don Panganiban is from where I come from. He's a huge LeBron James fan. So talagang solid na LeBron yan. Me personally, Coach, my take is my 1, 2, 3 would be MJ, of course, number 1. 2 and 3 would be close between MJ and Kobe with LeBron and Kobe with I guess LeBron having an advantage over Kobe, simply for the fact that I think he made an impact earlier on. Although iba naman kasi yung path nilang dalawa, no? but early on he was able to have at least some sense of or semblance of impact to the league as opposed to Kobe na medyo he had to go through some seniorities din kasi that's the difference between Kobe and LeBron. So, but anyway, parting shots, coach, before we let go of this episode.
Yeah, yun nga pala, hindi ko alam kung narinig nila kanina yung what will be the effect of LeBron retiring. Again, sinabi ni Luis Amerino, brother of Luigi, hi ka dyan. Salamat sa panonood. Ang effect niyan, the basketball world will be sad. Definitely, the sad haters and lovers alike. Syempre, but I think madaming players that are ready to carry the torch like Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, who else? Kawhi Leonard. These are the players that will push our sport forward. Madami pa dyan. Sila Nikola Jokic, naging MVP,
Right.
di ba? The lowest lowest draft pick ever. So I
Yep.
think we're in good hands. But definitely, pag nawala si LeBron, it will be a sad, sad day. It will be a sad, sad day for the basketball world.
Yeah, and
And yun,
it too like coach parang yung turnover din ni Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. That's a big question. Who takes over now, right?
yes, that's correct. That's correct. And my parting shots, wag muna kayo umalis pag after our show. Watch our end credits. Ito yung mga people that supports us and will continue to support us. Kindly do watch it. So again, kindly visit Gunita Villas and Pavilion, best kept secret. Instead of checking in sa large resorts, dito na kayo mag-book sa Gunita. And with only 8 suites, you can pick your own corner in the expansive 2.5 hectares of a resort. You can stroll around the garden mask-free and even rent their ATVs. Pwede kayo mag-drive-drive doon, di ba? Super lapit lang. Dito lang siya malapit sa Padre Pio. Maybe an hour away from Alabang. They have 4 rooms which has its own pool, kitchen, living area. So sure na kayo na family nyo lang kasama nyo. So again, hindi pala an hour, maybe 30 minutes lang away from Alabang. Kasi may start all na. And for inquiries again, 0956-839-1269, 0956-839-1269. And thank you once again for everyone who support or who are supporting us and who are here. Salamat sa mga bagong nanonood. Sana patuloy nyo kaming supportahan. And we thank you. We will try our best to give you more shows that will entertain at the same time, give you some knowledge. We will pass knowledge to you guys. And if you have questions, you can DM us in our page, BOUNCEPASS PH. Any questions or suggestions, we are willingly taking it in.
Right. So
Your
so
take.
on that note, Coach James, I would like to thank everyone who viewed with us. Actually, this is one of the longest episodes we've had in this year, no? This is the
Yeah,
longest
Lebron
episode
eh.
we've had. Lebron ang
Siyempre.
topic eh, kaya maganda. So,
Yeah.
next week we promise you more content for next week. So, hopefully you get to join us and do share Bounce Pass PH so that we get more people watching us here on Bounce Pass. And also, of course, V81 Radio, don't forget to share that as well. So, in behalf of our guest today, Francis Marasigan and Coach Dino Enrile, and my usual partner, Coach James Tolentino, this is Mike Perez saying good night. And remember, if it's anything basic basketball, Bounce Pass is your page. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Hey, basketball junkies! Are you a beginner coach wanting to build the right foundation for your coaching know-how? Are you a player or a fan in research of the right source of basketball IQ, skills, and more? Well, if you are, BOUNCEPASS is for you. We bounce key foundational knowledge about a game and pass it on to you for practical use in taking their basketball knowledge and skills to the next level. Join Coach Mike Perez and Coach James Tolentino as they tackle everything hoops. This is BOUNCEPASS every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Philippine time. Only here on V81 Radio Worldwide. Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kanta at programang Tatak Pinoy. Napapanood at napapakinggan kahit saan ka man. Streaming worldwide. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin.